Early life and education. As far as early life and education of Ishiba is concerned, we'll just get into detail by one. He Hello students, welcome back to Paathshala classes. This is Shashwat Dubey, one of the faculty members of Paathshala classes, and today that we are going to begin a very important news, that is who is the next Prime Minister of Japan. So without further delay, let's begin. Shigeru Ishiba is said to become the new Prime Minister of Japan. Now who is this Shigeru Ishiba? We will know more in detail. Shigeru Ishiba is the former defense minister, was the former defense minister and is now poised to become the Japan's next prime minister. She has won the LDP's election. Now what is LDP? LDP stands for Liberal Democratic Party. Fine. So he belongs to LDP party. Furthermore, Ishiba will succeed Fumio Kishida. Fumio Kishida was the ongoing prime minister, now not ongoing now that he would be taking over the seat of prime minister. Now Ishiba will succeed Fumio Kishida, who was the former prime minister of Japan, who stepped down following scandals. This was the reason behind the election of new prime minister. The scandals were the reason why Fumio has stepped down as a prime minister. Also, with the LDP holding a majority in the lower house, Ishiba's path to the role is effectively secured. Also, he edged out economic security minister Sanae Takaichi by a narrow margin of just 21 votes in the leadership race. Now, this is a point to be noted. Early life and education. As far as early life and education of Ishiba is concerned, we'll just get into detail by one. He is born on February 4, 1957. Ishiba grew up in Totori Prefecture. This is a place where he was born, where his father was a government official and later the governor as well. After studying law at KU University, this is the educational background, Ishiba worked at Mitsui Bank. His experience before transitioning to politics in 1983. 1983 was the beginning of Ishiba's political career. Moving ahead, the political career, as far as the political career is concerned, we'll just delve into detail one by one. In 1986, Ishiba became the youngest member. You can see Ishiba was the youngest member of the House of Representatives as a candidate from the LDP. Also, despite his long affiliation, he often clashed with party views. You can just see कि ये मतलब एकदम ऐसे नहीं थे कि हाँ जो कह दिया वो कर दिया, वो वाले नहीं है. उनके पास एक विजिलेंस है, एक चीजों को लेकर एक स्टैंड है, और that he fears nothing. He also goes against his own party if he does not agree to it. तो इसे हम बहुत कुछ कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं after he's holding the post of the PM for Japan. So he often clashed with party views, as already stated, even defecting to the Japan Renewal Party, to which he earlier belonged before rejoining the LDP. He was the member from 1993 to 1996. In which party? Japan Renewal Party. Over his career, he has held a number of portfolios, which includes the very first being the defense minister and also nonetheless minister for revitalizing the local economy. It's not the very first time that he is now holding the post of the prime minister of Japan, but also he has got other portfolios in his name. Also, his leadership victory marks his 5th attempt to lead the LDP. Take a note, it is the 5th attempt to lead the LDP party to which he belongs. The key policy positions. Here on, these are the very Key takeaways, very important points to be noted. So please focus on these points. The very first being, Ishiba aims to address rising inflation. What are the takeaways? What are the futuristic approach that we can look forward for when it comes to Ishiba holding the post of the prime minister? What can we expect from this tenure? Right. The very first being combating inflation. Secondly, improving wages and reducing nuclear energy dependence of the country. He also plans to tackle Japan's low birth rate by expanding support for parents and boosting regional economies. इन सब डोमेन में वो काम करने वाले हैं, हम एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं इन सब चीजों पे काम होगी इनके टेन्योर में. Also that he focuses on security issues which includes addressing the threats from China and North Korea. He is also of the view कि जापान को सिक्योर रखना है, एक अफर्मेटिव जापान बनाना है जिसमें the sovereignty of Japan shall be the focal point of this particular prime minister, and particularly he focuses on protecting his country from the threats of China and North Korea. Moving ahead, he also advocates a more defense policy. As already said, he is focusing on the strengthening of Japan as a country. He is trying to protect the sovereignty of this particular country, and for which he will be undertaking many defense policies, right? Also that he has proposed Japan to lead an Asian NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Moving ahead, the challenges which he may face as a prime minister, the very first being, Ishiba must navigate the public discontent over rising living cost and Japan's volatile security environment. The very first being, जो जापान अभी करंटली फेस कर रहा है वो है स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग कॉस्ट बहुत हाई है जापान में, जिसके चलते मिडिल क्लास फैमिली, द एवरेज पॉपुलेशन ऑफ जापान इज concerned more, and he need to combat firstly with this particular issue, followed by Japan's volatile security environment. इस चीज पे भी काम करना बनता है प्राइम मिनिस्टर को, and that until unless he is going to work on these particular things are not going to be as peaceful as a prime minister, because the former prime minister was also removed because of the scandal and everything, right? He also faces challenges from within the LDP. Now this is very important. Within the LDP, which means although he has become the prime minister, but there are people who are in opposition within the LDP itself, to which party he belongs. Also, where his socially progressive stance on issues allowing married couples to use separate surnames has sparked debate. He has introduced this particular policy of allowing married couples to use separate surnames. Now this has caused a sparkling debate across the country, wherein this particular policy which has been introduced by him is in question, right? Moving ahead, the US-Japan relations. As far as US and Japan relations are concerned, now why are we concerned with more the country of US? Because obviously US, it's a sound country, highly developed, and obviously a dominant one across the world, right? So we will be going in detail about what are the terms that these both countries share with each other. The very first being Ishiba's approach to reducing Japan's reliance. Since I already told that he is focusing on strengthening of Japan, and he is emphasizing the essence of sovereignty of Japan to be secured, right? So he is working on to reduce Japan's reliance on the US for defense particularly, which may strain ties with Washington as well. इसका इफेक्ट ये भी हो सकता है, वॉशिंगटन से ties You can see it can strain ties with Washington. हर मूव हर एक पॉलिसी का इंटरनेशनल एरिना में कुछ ना कुछ इम्पैक्ट होता है, राइट? तो दिस इज द वेरी फर्स्ट thing which can happen after this reduction of Japan's reliance over US for defense. Also, his push for Japan to have a say in the US, have a say in the US, have a say in the US for in the context of nuclear weapons in Asia particularly, and stands on military bases. Another stands on military bases in again Okinawa. It reflects his broader vision and the things that he's going to put in, the efforts which as a prime minister he is going to put in for his country, for strengthening his country, can be clearly visible from his policies. His mindset clearly reflects from these policies that is going to undertake. Also, as far as the economic and fiscal policies are concerned, we can see Ishiba has softened his opposition. Ishiba has softened his opposition to nuclear power, proposing to keep some reactors operational, not absolutely, but partially. He has proposed to keep some reactors operational while supporting the renewable energy. Renewable energy is being taken into account and consideration by the new Prime Minister. Lastly, as a fiscal conservative, he, being a fiscal conservative, emphasizes more upon respecting the Bank of Japan's independence. Though he remains cautious about future further interest rate hikes. The future interest rate hikes are also a concern which is taken into account, right? So that's all for today. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel of Paathshala classes for more updates, and also you can subscribe to the Telegram channel for your expedient doubt redressal as well as study materials. That's all for today. Thank you so much.